And I want to introduce you to this concept if you haven't seen it before. It was popularized by Clayton Christensen back in the 90s, and it has a lot to do with incremental versus disruptive technologies. So I want to start out with something we're all familiar with. You start out with the telegraph, and then the phone came along. They were still using the telegraph, and then the phone, it was impractical. Not a lot of people had it, but over time, the expectation was that you would be able to talk to each other. It gained in popularity, gained in use, and then you see these incremental improvements on the phone over time. At the same time, cell phones started to come into play. But over time, what you saw is that that phone got more and more features. The expectations for that technology increased. It became more convenient than the desk phone. We got to the Razor back in the early 2000s. That was the flip phone. You had these Blackberries. Few people had them. But now we're on iPhone 17. Maybe we'll see an 18 this year. So that's how these technologies start sub-optimized, and then over time, they come up and they overtake. We know this story, right? And I could even have sail on here. So you had steam gave way to diesel. Diesel pretty much maxed out on optimization on diesel. Sure, you can tweak the air-fuel ratios. You can go with electronic engine, but something is coming that's going to be more economical. Now, what is that going to be? Now, before we talk about this, there's three considerations that I want you to think about. Okay, whatever that's going to be, it has to be accessible. You need to be able to go to any port and get that fuel. And it has to be reversible. The regulatory risk is real. And in the United States, we all know it has something to do with whoever's in office at the time. And then adaptable. Can it evolve? So this is the way I see it happening. So you have diesel, you have these biofuels, they're quietly slipping in as blends. Maybe eventually we'll have 100% blend biodiesel in these vessels. And then methanol and ammonia, and then methanol and ammonia are both great carriers for hydrogen. You can get away from all that compression and cryogenics. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's going to be methanol. Right now, the biodiesels you can blend with traditional diesel, and you can design and build vessels today that can carry methanol tomorrow. And then you can invest in methanol to hydrogen reformers 20 years down the line when it's time for a repower. Hopefully the technology will be there then. And if it's not, you can still run off of methanol. You can still run off of diesel. How do you beat this system? You use one engine that right now can run off of diesel, one engine that right now can take the synthetic diesel blends, an engine that can take a blend of methanol and then be upgradable to methanol, and then you'll have methanol on your vessel by the time these fuel cells come into wide use and the engines need to be repowered. If you want to go the direction of methanol, how do you get infrastructure on board with it? Because suppliers, they're not going to build just on a guess. You need some way to signal. And I think this is an excellent way to signal. And I'm going to use ABS as an example, but the other classing societies have this as well. ABS offers a three-tiered notation for alternative fuel ready. I really like this tier right here. All it is, it's a paper chase. All you have to do is send in the drawings to show that you have space for the tankage and for the equipment. Now, locally, that's pretty advantageous because a lot of offshore supply boats, high-spec, ultra-high-spec supply boats, they already carry methanol on them. They already have the infrastructure on them. Does it have to be enough methanol to run the vessel for a long period of time? No, it doesn't. They just have to show that they have room for the methanol and that they have the infrastructure for it. So most of these vessels already have the drawings that could be sent in and get that notation now. Probably, with just a little bit of tweaking of the drawings, you select your equipment, place where your equipment's going to be, you could probably get a tier 2 alternative fuel notation. Now, what does that do? That allows infrastructure providers, that allows suppliers to look across the tonnage in the region and say, wow, we have this many methanol-ready vessels today. What else does it do for you? Well, a company that has methanol-ready notation, you can put that in your sustainability report. Look at us. 50% of our vessels are methanol-ready. So I think it's a great thing that ABS and the other classing societies have done to make that available as a way to signal suppliers. 3 things I want you to take away from this. All the technical information is great, but from a design perspective, here's 3 things. First, design for now and signal for tomorrow. Don't pick a winner. We looked at 6 alternative fuels today. Some of you may have an idea what the best one is for your application. Don't pick a winner, pick a path. Okay, keep that long game in view. The ship could take 10 years from concept to commissioning, and then could be in service another 20 years before a repower. We have to play the long game. And then finally, optionality beats prophecy. So it's better to spend our time thinking about how to keep our options open as opposed to which one's going to be the